Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. I hope everyone is having a fine Woo Woo Wednesday. And we are starting about 2 hours, well, exactly 2 hours before we would normally start on a Wednesday evening, just because our central air unit, I never know what the whole unit thing is called. It needs replaced in the dead of the summer where it's starting to get super hot. I think next Saturday, in a few days, it's supposed to be 100 degrees, and we have no AC. For the first time we moved into this house in 2008, so it's been a very long time since I've had to have a summer without AC. But like I was saying I can't remember if I said it on the live stream or I was talking to someone else. I know I said it out loud to my husband as well. But the summer that our house burned in '93, it was actually a good thing that we didn't have any kind of AC or anything like that, because the bedrooms upstairs would get ungodly hot in the summer. And if that hadn't been the case, my sister and I would have been upstairs when the house fire started, right at the stairs. And at least the window and the stairs kind of split her room from my room. There was like this little corridor to get between. But the stairs were right beside / under my wall of my bedroom. And the only window in that bedroom was this tiny little, I could probably have climbed out, but I wasn't tall enough. And it was just a very tight squeeze, and it was like a 3-story drop to the ground, because it was basically at the top of the colonial house, how they're shaped. You know how kids draw the colonial houses? It's like a square with a little triangle on top. That's how the original house was shaped. And I probably wouldn't have made it out if we weren't so ungodly hot in the upstairs. We would instead, in the summertime, we would bunk up with my brother in his bunk beds and an extra bed in his bedroom. And then come fall, winter, and spring again, we moved back upstairs. But thank goodness we were there. So yeah, we're roughing it, so to speak, with no AC. And I figured by usually 6, 7, 8 p.m., this room is a toaster oven. And my little candles that I've been making here also kind of, I won't say they melted, but they definitely got soft and warm. Let's just put it that way. So this room's been getting pretty hot. And I just didn't want to have the struggle be real during the live stream. And yeah, so we're starting a couple hours earlier. I can feel it's starting to get warm in here, but I'm comfortably warm at this point. It's not hot. I'm not sweating. So we're good so far. I might, though, turn up my noisy fan. Yeah, it's very annoying loud, squeaky, because I need to have my husband tighten it for me. But it's better, I guess, to have me comfortable and have just a little bit of squeaky because I fixed it. No, it's still wobbly, but I don't know. Not that it matters. Yeah, I've wasted 3 minutes basically talking about how hot I am. Not like, oh, I'm so hot, but like temperature-wise. Sorry, guys, I'm in a funny mood. We've been home with the kids all day. My husband is actually working right now, so my oldest Boston is kind of in charge of Wrigley right now and the dogs, so this should be interesting. Yeah, so let's get into it. So hello, Sandy. Sandy was our first donation today, and anyone else looking to book a donation can obviously also do so, and we will honor that donation. And we're going to do a collective reading on Venus going retrograde. It's actually going retrograde on, let's see, I'm trying to think, the 22nd of this month. So 3 days from now, or it's going to be the 23rd if you're in India or parts of Australia and all that. But yeah, it's upon us. It's very, very close to us right now. Yeah, you can hear that. It's like very annoying. My apologies for that. But yes, we are going to be using this deck. Oh gosh, what's this one called? Okay, Playful Heart Tarot. And I have been having so much fun with this deck. To me, it's a very creative inner child type of deck, and I've been using it to get insight in my writing. I've been exclusively using this deck as a writing aid or tool for me to help me with my writing, making certain decisions with my writing that, all the answers I'm getting are very in alignment with what I'm already intuiting on what I need to do or should do with my writing, but it's just great to have that validation, Hello, Ethan. Hello, Lynn. Hello, everybody. So the 22nd of this month Venus is going retrograde. This is not like a rare phenomenon by any stretch. It goes retrograde every 18 months. And when Venus goes direct and then retrograde and makes her, path around the sun, as, we're told in our science. I don't know if it's exactly that way, just, what they tell us. It forms a perfect pentagram, a very beautiful pentagram if you follow like the precession of it. And it's the only planet that has that pattern or solid structure to it. All the others just are wonky, unpatterned. It's just different. Venus is very special in that regard. And when she goes retrograde, the way that we show up for ourselves, the way that we show up for others, the way we love, what we hold valuable really becomes questioned or examined. And especially those that are already in relationships, hoping to get into relationships, this is going to be a time when you're really, especially those already in a relationship, for example, you're really going to be questioning. And it doesn't have to be just romantic, but specifically romantic relationships can come into question, especially if Venus is in your natal 7th house. Venus rules your 7th house, meaning it's a Libra or a Taurus house, or this transit and retrograde is taking place in your 7th house, or any planets that are in your natal 7th house, or the ruler of your 7th house is somehow tied up or associated with this retrograde. Or if you're following Vedic astrology and you're going through a Venus Mahadasha, Antardasha, or any of the dashas, it's going to greatly affect you more than just your average Joe. And this is taking place in the Western sign of Leo completely. And for Vedic lovers, it's going to start out in Leo until August 7th, and then it's retrograding back into the sign of Cancer in Ashlesha Nakshatra. And Cancer is that very motherly sign. Leo is the more creative, showy sign, very ego, but also could be very, very passion-driven, very soul-driven as well. But so much of what Venus represents and what Cancer represents can kind of intermingle, specifically dealing with the divine feminine aspect of who we are, whether we're male, female, or anything in between or outside of, however you identify. You're going to be affected by this in many ways. And it just doesn't deal only with our connections between one another. It also deals with the material world and our relationship to our belongings and our homes and our cars and the things that we hold value in that are not other people. So a lot of this stuff is going to come into question. This would be a great time for that just being said, to declutter your material world, your material life, and re-examine, all these things that I have. Do I really need these? Are they adding value to my life? Are they adding stress to my life? This has kind of been a theme the last, month to 2 months here on the channel. Major channeling downloads coming in, resulting in a lot of us just wanting to or needing to possibly declutter not just our physical space, but also our energy, our mental. We can get very cluttered mind, and then we feel very stressed or anxious at times as well. So these are all really big themes coming up with this retrograde. And like I said, it starts on July 22nd. This retrograde is going to be going for either 40 or 41 days. Can't remember exactly, but it will start or stop being retrograde on September 3rd. But of course, these retrogrades then take time to get going again. So those following Western astrology, this is taking us back into Cancer and then back through the sign of Leo yet again, all the way through October into November of this year. So there's a lot going on in this part of the zodiac. And Venus is basically transitioning from being an evening star, one we can see on the horizon right after sunset, to being a morning star, that first light we see, that first star we see in the sky right before the sun comes up. And this is a very almost like alchemical or transformational death and rebirth kind of vibe. And the Mayans would really study how Venus would do this and notice that certain cycles would kick off when this Venus went from being a morning star to an evening star and then back again. So, Ethan's got to go back. He's got to take care of some stuff real quick. Cool. Hello, Dig Gutierrez. Hello, Amber. Hello, Jessica Lynn. So we're going to do our nice little collective reading regarding how this Venus retrograde is going to be affecting each and every one of us watching now or on the replay. So if you would like for this to be your reading, you can just, include your energy. If you do not want to participate in this, you do not have to. So like I said, those watching now and on the replay, even if for some weird reason you're watching this 5 years after the fact and this is no longer the case, there may still be a message in this for you. I don't know why anyone would do that, but hey, if they do, that's what's going on. So let's tune in to these energies. What do we personally need to know? How will we be affected? What do we have to keep account of? Take into consideration? What do we need to know? Ooh, so we have 5 of Wands. So there's some and 7 of Swords. So this definitely feels like, especially this middle one here, it's like first, second, third, fourth, fifth lane. It's like, I'm hearing stay in your lane, but it's like this third one, this person or, whatever this lightning rod is here in the middle, fire rod, is doing in the middle. It's like they are going to the depths. They aren't just staying along the surface. They are going to the depths to get to some form of healing. There's some form of healing coming in, especially if you have felt, this is a lied to, cheated on, stolen from card, whether you felt you were being judged by people in your family or, friend groups or work circles or people at school, whatever it is. Again, kind of like walking on eggshell energy. Like this person is walking on the edge of the sword. That cannot be comfortable, especially if you slip or are kind of teetering. That cannot feel good. So many of you, again, kind of this walking on eggshell type of energy, and the way through it or the ticket to really get yourself in alignment with overcoming this or transmuting it, alchemizing it, death and rebirthing this process would be to face it, to do the healing that you're being called to heal, especially in relationships. And of course, wherever this transit is taking place, it's going to not only affect the house where if you're watching for Western astrology, your Leo house. If you're watching for Vedic astrology, it starts in Leo, but it's primarily taking place in Cancer, so it's mostly a Cancerian energy going on for Vedic astrology. So find out where Cancer is in your chart if you follow Vedic astrology, or Leo for Western astrology, and also where your natal Venus is placed, where your sign of Libra and Taurus are placed, and of course, any planets in conjunction, association, opposition. I mean, you can really do a deep dive and really work yourself up a report or a chart on how this is affecting you personally. And hey, if there's any takers in the chat that already know their own rising sign or even their moon sign, or if you know what house, just let me know. Cancer for Cancer for Vedic astrology and Leo for Western astrology. Let me know if you know where your Venus is placed or what your ascendant is. But again, caveat that with I'm more Vedic astrology or more Western astrology, and I can give you kind of a quick little individual rundown of what you can expect. If you want. I probably can't do everybody here, but yeah, if anyone knows their rising sign and where their natal Venus is, and again, Vedic or Western astrology that you follow, I can kind of break this down. I might be able to do 1 or maybe 2. So first come, first serve. Get your information out there, and I can help you walk you through how you personally will be affected. And of course, we're going to still also pull some more cards. I got some iced tea here. Yeah, it's really refreshing, and it's not too bad in here though, actually. So, hello, KK. Hello. I don't know that we have any takers, so I guess I'll just keep going with our reading. So let's see what we have for all of us watching now and on the replay. Venus retrograde energies. Ooh, Queen of Wands. So this is Miss Sovereignty herself. Look, she's doing some deep inner work because she's not afraid to just be, stripping bare, stripping nude. I don't want the algorithm to pick up, oh, what are they talking about over here? You know what I'm saying though. Stripping yourself bare of your masks, your false identities, the things that just no longer resonate with you, and decluttering your energy, your physical space, and, kind of getting out there, putting yourself out there for some of you as well, letting it all hang out, interpret as you will. And there really is no race, even though it's very interesting how we've got kind of a race situation set up here, competition set up. We are each on our own individual path with what we're doing, what our soul lessons are, what we're here to experience. So really there is no better than, worse than, race, competition. I mean, at the true spirit of who we are and what we're here to do, there really is no competition, even though the more ego-based and more 3D reality concepts and systems in place and society and culture always makes us think it's like dog eat dog, or, you know, may the best man win kind of vibe, or everybody's pitted against each other. There's winners, there's losers, us versus them kind of vibe. And this is about a deep realization from your spirit to realize the only person you're truly in competition with is yourself. And basically combating between just wanting to give up some days and really embodying your greatest potential, your highest version. That's the competition at play here. That's the only true, real, most meaningful on, we're talking the most deepest spiritual levels competition that we are here to participate in. It's not an us versus them, or who got the highest grade, who makes the most money, none of this. And that's a deep realization. And that's the thing too with Venus is, it deals with luxury. It deals with, billionaire status. So it's like, if you're a millionaire, you'll look to Jupiter in your chart. If you're a billionaire, you'll look to Venus in your chart. That's the vibe here, is really leveling yourself up. And we're not just talking cash money. We're talking your deepest spiritual assets and gifts. And we had 3 more cards fall. Oh, Dig has given some information here, so thank you so much for that. Let me know, though, if you're following Western or Vedic astrology, and I'll do your little breakdown. And also Michelle Lynn. And again, let me know if you're wanting a Western astrology breakdown or a Vedic. Okay, Western. Okay. I'm going to get to these, and then I will do breakdowns of your 2 charts, because you guys, at least, we still have other planets at play. It's this like very generalized approach to what you can expect. So we have the sun. Yes, we have the sun. We have the Hermit and Temperance. So 3 major arcanas have joined the party here. So there definitely is going to be some transformation, most specifically with, not even just our relationships to other people, but our, again, relationships to our deepest spirit, our most true essence, our most true selves, not just our soul or just our ego that it just exists in this matrix. We're talking deeper and more authentic than that. We're talking the spirit. And that's where we're really getting our true communication for our highest good, is from our spirit. So the Hermit energy is going to serve us very well with this Venus retrograde in the 7-year, which is a very introspective, self-knowledge, self-wisdom year that we're dealing with here. And then the Sun and Temperance. This is about finding balance between us and the others. Again, we're asked to go within, do some introspection, but also take that knowledge and wisdom we've gained about ourselves and then see it reflected in our relationships with others. It's very important. And those of you that do have children or are planning to, get pregnant during this time, this is a very potent and powerful time for all of you to reach your children on a deeper, more spirit level. And those of you that aren't, that aren't parents, that have parents, which a lot of us do, some have passed on, but some are still here. There's an alchemization that can take place in your relationship, even with your parents, if that's something you choose to dive into. But yeah, it's just about finding the balance. And this is a very spirit-led card as well. I used to call it my spirit guide card. And then when I stopped channeling spirit guides and just started channeling my own inner spirit, this just takes like that strength card up a notch. And this is about finding the balance, whereas more the strength card is about digging deep to find that inner strength to get you through something. The Temperance is actually more balanced than what we're talking about with the strength card. So there is a sense of balance coming to us as we dive deep, as we tune into the more authentic parts and aspects of ourselves. It's really beautiful, but it's not always easy, and it can be very messy. It can be very chaotic. There could be makeups, wake-ups, shake-ups, breakups. There could be a lot going on. So it's not always going to be sunshine and roses. Although, that being said, the Sun card being here in our reading about these energies is a very good sign that any heartbreak, any big obstacles you have to overcome during this time, it's for your highest good, and you're going to see why you had to go through these things by, I would say, mid-September. Give Venus some time to start getting that forward momentum going again after the retrograde ends on September 3rd. And you'll start to really see the payoff of all that you've been through between pretty much now. I mean, we're already tuning into that shadow period of, you know, Venus kind of stationing to start going in that retrograde motion. We're already feeling it. So if you've been kind of having some friction in any kind of relationship, it doesn't just have to be with a partner, but most specifically, Venus does deal with females, or people's feminine energy. If you are dealing with someone who is very hyper masculine, you might see more of their softer side come out during this time as well. Okay, so let's tune in. We're going to look at Dig Gutierrez. So Aquarius sign, Pisces rising. So I assume Aquarius sun and then Libra moon. Okay. Wait, Aquarius sign, Pisces rising. Okay, yes. So in Vedic astrology, I mostly look at, and I know you want to do Western, but we'll break down the chart from Western. So Pisces rising, that would be the 12th. So directly opposite would be 6. So I got to count back 1. So this is happening in your 6th house, this transit of Venus being retrograde. So your day-to-day routines might look different. You might even be taking out a loan. This can happen, taking out a loan or just having a little bit more debt come on, dealing with luxury items or things that we in the modern world would not maybe consider a luxury, but those in the past would be like, wow, that's a luxury to have, you know. Like for me personally, my husband has this same transit and it's taking place in his 6th house. And we're having to replace our whole AC unit, our whole central air thing. And it's going to be big, big money. It's not just, oh, here's $1,000 to throw at it. We're talking maybe $12,000. And it's like, oh my gosh. But for how old the unit is, it's time. So, you know, these things only last so long. Our unit is over 30 years old. So, you know, these things do wear out. So this is the time big expenditure might be coming. That being said, though, if you don't have anything like that going on, it just could be you really tuning into shifts and changes about what you do hold value in. Could be relationships, could be jobs, could be something going on with pets. Either you're acquiring a new pet or you're having some issues with a pet, specifically female pets. You know, Venus represents more feminine energy. Your day-to-day kind of vibe, your routines, your work, maybe even people you work with. Your maternal uncles is also ruled by the 6th house. And of course, let's see, Pisces. Okay, I gotta look at it from like in my head, I gotta readjust the wheel of everything. So that would mean, so 12, 1, so Venus would also rule your 3rd house. That would be what, Taurus. So there might be some things going on with your younger siblings, your communication, maybe short distance travel, writing. There might be something you're introspecting about. Maybe you're doing more journaling as well. And then that would put Libra, let's see, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Libra then would be your 9th house, if I'm correct. Trying to do my math around the wheel here. So that would be, you know, just diving deeper into your belief systems and maybe even your connection with your father. Although you're following more Western astrology, that 10th house is more father energy for Western astrology. But people you would look up to, like teachers, gurus, spiritual leaders of some kind. You're seeing people in a new light, and it doesn't always necessarily mean in a good way. You could be seeing through people as charlatans or something like that during this time. So let's see. I'm going to do the first 2 that I got. So Michelle Lynn would be the next one. We have an ad coming in 8 seconds. So I'm going to put some of these cards away, and we'll kind of deal into her chart. About 1 second here. Yeah, big expense for Amber for sure. Moving for sure. All right. So I'm scrolling back up for Michelle Lynn. Yeah, I said I was going to take the first person who got their information out and possibly the second. And Michelle Lynn got hers out for Western astrology. Oh, you have a Venus Leo. So this is like a Venus return for you. So, okay, don't freak out. But when I had my Venus return and retrograde, so anytime Venus returns to Pisces and goes retrograde, I have a heck of a time just feeling good at home. I mean, though mine is in my 6th house. So you are a Libra rising, Leo moon, and Leo with Venus. So that would be your 11th house. I think. Yes. Your 11th house. So you might be possibly getting into a relationship, or again, someone from your past coming in as a result of this Venus retrograde. Doesn't necessarily mean love is going to last. And even people that get like married during a Venus retrograde, that doesn't always last unless they are very rock solid from the beginning. Very interesting fact. I got married during a Venus retrograde, and then so did a she's not young, but she's in her 30s, younger than me, cousin, and she already has been divorced. So very interesting with that. But, you know, relationships can come in during a Venus retrograde, but they can leave just as quickly. But that being said, you can really tune into what it is you expect in love or in a relationship. And once Venus then goes in its forward direction, love might find you, and you will be very happy about that. Let's see, as far as, yeah, and your moon being there, you'll be thinking all things Venus. So you might be thinking about getting a new car, which I think you've been kind of debating anyway. Might be thinking about shifting your daily routines, or, because again, with your, no, that's not your 6th house. It's aspecting your 5th house. So that's more your, like, romance. You know, 5th house deals with romance. So it's aspecting your 5th house of romance. It's also dealing with, like, you don't have children, but maybe even hanging out with nieces and nephews, the children of your brothers and sisters. Trying to think, Venus would rule your 1st house, obviously, as a Libra ascendant, and your 8th house of sudden ups and downs, possible inheritances, or just looking for new ways to invest money, or finding lost items. That can be something happening for you, Michelle Lynn, as well. Awesome. Okay. Yes, you're so welcome. Sorry I couldn't get to everybody. I would love to just sit here and break down everybody's chart. It does a little bit of mental calculation for me to move all this stuff around. But, I mean, hey, if you did want to dive into how it can affect you, you can book a reading and we can dive into it for you as well. And then on top of that, get a reading. So if you want to do that, let me know. But let's get a couple more oracle cards for our collective, and then we're going to dive into our first, possibly only donation of the night. Let's see. So far, I have, okay. Oh, also Michelle Lynn has booked a 1 card. So we have Sandy with a full read first up after our collective, and then Michelle Lynn with a 1 card. So anyone else looking to get a more personalized question answered today, you can always send a donation. And your donations do go to help my mom, whose house burned down in July of 2019. And she's having quite the expense over on her property. Well, the property she's moving to, my grandma's old property. The septic tank went out. I've already showed a video of that at the beginning of, was it last week? I can't remember. Friday or Wednesday of last week, I showed the video. And I think I showed it the week before as well. Yeah, so she's about to move in there, and then, so more expense with that. But your donations do go to help her eventually get a more permanent location. My grandma's house, permanent, isn't ideal. It's in very bad repair. It's like a double wide trailer. The roof was caving in, and now the septic is caved in. It's not a great place, but it's better than her camper. So she's doing a quick little level up. But let's see for our rest of our wonderful collective here and watching the replay. What do we need to know about these Venus retrograde energies between July 22nd and September 3rd, when Venus is retrograde? We got 2. Ooh, passion and leadership. So many of you that are in, where did our card go? It went behind me. So many of you that are already in a relationship, it's like you're taking on, you personally watching right now, are taking on more of a leadership role in your relationship. So if it's been 50-50 or the other person has been more dominant, this is going to be a time where you can really rise to the occasion. And with the passion you have, possibly for the relationship or just whatever it is you're building with the relationship, if you're wanting children, if you are wanting to, create a family, create a home, if you have like goals together, you're kind of taking this more leadership role in the relationship to make those goals a reality. And then with the passion here, I think that just kind of like reignites that spark for so many of us, possibly in a relationship, but also for your creative endeavors, because especially Michelle Lynn, anything creative you want to do, because Venus doing this thing that is doing in your 5th house is your creativity. It's your, passion to create something as well. So that spark is coming back, something you're really passionate about. And possibly could be your physical body, could be dating for you, Michelle Lynn specifically, could be anything associated with that 8th house. So yeah, lots going on for Michelle Lynn with all that. And very personalized message, I feel, for Michelle Lynn in these 2 cards as well. But the rest of you as well, so much passion is coming to you taking more of this leadership role just in your life in general, and whatever area of life that you're just feeling this pull toward, almost like a magnet pulling you. For some of you, this is to go within and really just express who you are on a deeper level. For others of you, that you're being pulled back in a direction of something you thought you were done with or completed. Could be a relationship, could be a project, something that's been on the back burner, or you've just kind of lost interest in it. You're reigniting the interest or the passion for whatever this is. And for others of you too, I'm seeing just this passion or zest for life, just more joy in just your everyday reality is going to be available to you during this Venus retrograde. Not Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde. But that being said, I think this is going to be retrograde long enough that we will experience Mercury going retrograde before this Venus retrograde is over. I could be wrong on that. Someone can check when the next Mercury retrograde kicks off. And yeah, I cannot listen to the live today. The internet is crappy for me right now. Oh no. All right, and Michelle Lynn, yes, she has donated. We're doing the free collective reading right now, Bobby Propo. But if you would like to get a personal reading, you can always send a donation. The information for that is linked at the top of the chat, also in the description below. And there's 2 different ways you can donate for your reading to be, your question to be read, basically, what we're trying to say here. All right. Yes, so Sandy, just let me know that you're here. I know you were here earlier, but I just want to see that you're here before we just dive right into your reading. And if you're not here, I don't get a shout back. I will timestamp for Sandy because I think she had just left her question in the comment of her PayPal donation. Let me see. Pretty sure that's what's going on. And then we had another 1-card donation coming in for Marlene. Let's get Marlene on our list. 1 card. I hope this time is okay for you guys. It might just be what we do until we get our AC fixed, because this room just gets super hot. After probably the next hour or so, it's just too hot, too warm to be in here, because the sun is now going to be on this side of the house, and it's just beaming down on this room. I'm already starting to feel it pick up heat just a bit. Not too bad, though. We're still doing pretty good. But I figure if I can go live 2 hours earlier on Wednesday until we get this resolved, which it looks like it's going to be anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks out. But hey, I'm taking it in stride. Yeah, so Sandy. All right, well, if she's here, that's awesome. Let me know, Sandy, but otherwise I'm just going to timestamp 3315 for Sandy and go to her question. I think it was just whatever Spirit had for her. That's normally what she does, but not always. Let's double check. Yes, whatever Spirit has for Sandy, let's tune in. Sandy's energy. What does Sandy need to know right now? And then Michelle Lynn, you are up next with the 1 card, and then Marlene is on deck after Michelle Lynn. And anyone else looking to donate, we will add you to the list as well. All right. Okay. So Sandy. Okay. Ooh. So if you missed our collective, there's a big message in that for you. So you might even be feeling this sense of competition with you, with other people, or just trying to figure out where you fit in the world, or what your next steps are. Your next big passion project as well. This could be indicated with this. It's a very race to the finish kind of energy, but it feels to me like you're in that 3rd lane, like you're gonna cross the finish line first. So there might be some really great ideas you're getting. A lot of times though too, the 5 of Wands can deal with brainstorming. So if you have a group of trusted friends or family that you can talk to about things that you're kind of wondering about, or ideas you're kind of kicking around just to see if, what's going to work for you, sometimes just asking a few trusted people for their opinion or just advice could really be that spark or that aha moment that you need, Sandy. Let's just see anything Sandy needs to know. All right, we have justice. So there's some justice coming in. A lot of times when I see the justice card, it's more about finding balance and just fairness. But for you, Sandy, this to me feels like unclaimed money, or money that is just kind of lying around, or not just money, but like resources, time, other people's help that is just kind of there and you're not realizing it. But it will come into play when you least expect it or when you really need it. There's going to be people stepping up to help in some way. We also have the Chariot. So you might be going on some sort of trip, vacation, maybe moving. This could even be a longer term goal. If you're still wanting to move somewhere and lower in elevation, this could be your ultimate, going to happen. It's just a matter of when and how and all that. But, a lot of times this deals with vehicles or cars, traveling. So if you are having car issues of any kind, if you have a car, these might be being resolved at this time. I'm seeing success. Whatever the outcome is, things are being balanced. There's something coming in that's going to feel a lot more fair to you, a lot more balanced. Let's see. Oh, Bobby Propo is wondering if there's a crystal for a gemstone that helps us see to the future. Yes, if you find record keeper crystals, which I have a couple, they're not in this room. I have a record 3, specifically 4 record keeper amethysts. If the triangle is upside down, they will help you see into the future. If the triangle is upright, it's more of you being able to read the past. Those are the 2 different things I know about like a record keeper crystal. Also, I've heard Super 7s are like predictor crystals as well. Let's get back into Sandy's reading. Ooh, the World. So look at this. You got some pretty good major arcana. So there is some pretty big transformation or shift upon you very soon. Could be an ending to something, but this feels more bittersweet than just, oh no, devastation at all. There's a happiness. There's a, inevitability about this ending. It feels really good though. Something you're ready to put behind you. Again, though, with the World and the Chariot coming in, this is like travel energy or movement, moving in a new direction. If not literally or physically, this could be more energetic, just moving in a new direction or kind of putting your focus in a new direction or in a new passion, quite possibly. And maybe you even have competing passions. So there might be a couple of different people or situations, hobbies, jobs, business transactions, things you got going on that are kind of pulling for your attention or your energy here in the future. We also have, I liked how they just like balance themselves with that Libra energy, that justice energy. The Emperor. Wow, 2 more major arcanas, the Emperor and Temperance, and then the 8 of Pentacles. So your hard work, you're just wanting to really immerse yourself in something that is like repetitive, day in, day out kind of thing. This is like nose to the grindstone. This is learning a skill and then just becoming a master at it. That's the kind of energy that's wrapped up in the 8 of Pentacles. So there might be something new you're learning, or even something that you are kind of spelling out to be able to teach other people. And that's kind of a download I'm getting is you could create like a silversmithing course, or how to sell your jewelry or how to sell your whatever online kind of course. You have a wealth of knowledge that is just sitting there. And maybe that's what's going on with this kind of untapped money or resources or energy, that it's just sitting there and you don't really see it yet. But when you need it to come to the forefront, it'll be there. So you could kind of start accumulating this knowledge into actionable bite-sized pieces and create some sort of course or help, I don't know, tutorials maybe, something like that. With your work or something that you've accomplished, that you have that, deep well of information and wisdom that you can share with others, and then actually get some kickback for your knowledge and wisdom, because these people would be very excited to learn what it is you have to teach them. If that's something that interests you, that's a potential for you at this time. We also have with that Emperor, this is about taking the lead in your own life, being your own authority. And also there's the heart of success at this card, as well as the Chariot. At the root of both of these cards, it's about success. It's about succeeding at whatever it is you're setting out to do. especially if you're in your more masculine energy of taking action, putting yourself out there, all the masculine traits that we all can dip into because we all have feminine and masculine energies within us. But you're really being asked to lean on those more masculine principles within you to then bring about the balance that's needed to be able to bring in, justice. There's a lot of balance coming in for you, Sandy. So if you've been feeling chaotic or like your energy's just kind of going everywhere, and that is kind of going to be a thing coming up. Again, your focus might be split between a couple different things, or different people want pieces of you or want to see you or spend time with you or get advice from you. And there's just only so much Sandy to go around is kind of the energy here. So it's about picking those priorities and really sticking with them at this time. And then as you become successful with those priorities, you can then bring on more as you feel comfortable. But there's a lot of transformation in this reading. We got Temperance, we got Justice, we got the Chariot, the Emperor, and the World. Yeah. So of your 7 cards, 5 of them are major arcanas, which doesn't mean just small, everyday, mundane things. These are big transformations. So there's a lot of potential opportunity for growth, expansion, more money, more just deeper connections with people around you, being able to step into this kind of teacher role that's upon you right now, Sandy. So you can either choose to take this or let it pass you by. It's totally your choice. You don't have to do anything. But if you feel the need or desire to step into this role and maybe find new streams of income, that potential is very ripe for you right now. I feel like I need 1 or 2 from this deck for Sandy just to close out her reading. Anything else for wonderful, lovely Sandy? And we have here, banish a curse and creativity. So especially if you've been feeling blocked or just kind of almost like hit in a rut or kind of hit a plateau or a peak in just how creative you feel or how you show up in your own creativity. Sorry, I'm adjusting my light here. It got kind of dark for a second. You are like overcoming some sort of blockage or obstacle. I mean, we don't have to take this as literally as, oh, there's a curse put upon you, a plague on both your houses kind of thing. No, we don't have to take it that far. But if you've ever felt like, even if this is like a lifetime pattern for you, that you can only make it so far and then you plateau or you peak, or you can never quite break above, making this much money or having this much abundance or whatever it is for you, you are maybe technically or literally breaking some sort of like generational curse just in you, stepping into your authority and allowing your creativity to really shine forth. But again, prioritizing the tasks that are most important for you is going to be the key in not allowing that potent energy you have right now to just completely disperse into all sorts of different directions. It's almost like, would you rather have this fire hose completely focused on, just that one stream? Or would you rather have, a bunch of holes in that fire hose where a lot of the water is just going here, there, and everywhere? There's still a bit of a stream going out, the main hose, but that's kind of the download of vision I'm getting right now. So yeah, you can bring more streams of income, but it's about focusing on just a couple of different things rather than 50 or 60 different things. Sometimes we gotta even tell our friends and family, hey, I'm going into like hyper focus mode on my project or my business or creating this website or whatever it is you're doing. And a lot of times just us communicating that, people won't take it personally when we pull our energy back just a bit so we can really focus on something that's very passionate and we're very, ready to step into. So that's your message, Sandy. Very big stuff coming for you. If you, choose to accept the mission, you can really make some major strides in how you support yourself and how you feel free and sovereign, and a lot of creativity, a lot of wisdom and knowledge you have to share with others, possibly a trip coming up or a move as well. I guess time will tell, or remain to be seen on when that might take place, but potentials are all there, Sandy. So big hugs to you, Sandy, and I have timestamped her reading just in case. All right, so up next we got Michelle Lynn. Take a drink of my tea and just see if Michelle Lynn has her question in the PayPal thingy. No. So we will ask Michelle Lynn for her question, and then Marlene, you are on deck. And Marlene, you can even post your question as well, and we can have that ready when the time comes. Okay. So Michelle Lynn. Let me update our list. And then after that, I'm out of donations. So either the live stream will end or we will keep going if anyone else donates. So yes. Okay. So how do I close that out? It's saying update Apple ID settings. I don't want to do that right now. So I'm going to, it just says view. That's my only option. So I guess I'll have to view it and then close it out. Just a second, guys. You fell asleep, Sandy. Aw, that's okay. Well, here's a hot tip. You can rewatch the beginning of this on 2x speed to get you caught up, because I think there's a lot of valuable wisdom and information for you in the collective reading that we did. And I did timestamp it. You want to put at 33 minutes and 15 seconds, your reading starts, Sandy. 33 minutes, 15 seconds. Okay. All right. It finally popped up. So the iCloud needs to go bye-bye for now. We don't need that right now. Okay. So Michelle Lynn says, last night at 1 a.m., my smoke alarm went off. I felt it was a spirit. I was already getting like spiritual vibes from that. Very angry. Yeah. Then my alarm clock went off too. I had to unplug everything and sage my room was a spirit. Yeah, it was a spirit. I don't feel there was any like, to me it feels more trickster than like, it's more like I need a quick fix. Let me get you terrified so I can feed off this and then I'm on my way. I don't feel that this energy is still around you. So whether that was by your own pure intention of get the heck out of my room or you're saging or a combination of other reasons, the spirit has then since moved on. It just felt like it needed that energy boost that someone being terrified in the middle of the night, you know, will give a spirit. That's all they need, just a little boost and then they're on their way, which is gross, but that's just how it rolls. You know, that's how things go. And a lot of astral entities. The astral realm, just my own tuning in, the astral realm isn't like collapse. It is merging with what we would consider like the 3D reality or even 4D reality. They're kind of just becoming one and the same. So even people who don't really feel sensitive to any spirit or entities are going to start really noticing things that are just, what? What was that? Yeah, some really weird stuff is taking place. I got chills. Last night, this is weird. We dropped my kids off, my husband and I, we dropped our kids off at golf camp. And then I wanted to return some shampoo that I accidentally ordered instead of conditioner for my hair. So we had to go to the UPS store. And on our way back up to the golf course, we drove by this playground. And they have these playground swings that are they're like plastic and really big. And they have this big piece that comes down. They're really heavy, though. They're not just your like regular little swing. And that thing was twisting. There was no one around it. The wind was not blowing. The thing was just twisting. And all the swings next to it were just completely stationary. And I asked my husband, like, what is going on? And he's like, that is weird. Like, we both were just like, what is going on? So there's some weirdness afoot that even people who don't normally see this stuff are going to start seeing things like that. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, it definitely was spirit. And also, no, it's still not around. So that being said, though, there could be another trickster energy around. They're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere right now. It's basically just like energy vampires everywhere. So one of the best things you can do to level yourself up, protect yourself in these crazy times of the collapse of the astral realm is to check out this book by John Creeder. I've talked about it before. It's called Vampires. That's how you spell it. Way to Psychic Self-Defense. Cannot type tonight. Gosh. Yeah, so there it is in a nutshell. There's the book. But let's just pull some cards just to see if there's anything else you need to know, Michelle Lynn, about this 1 a.m. intruder, for lack of a better word, energetic intruder. We got a lot going on here. So yeah, 7 of Cups. Very interesting. So we were talking about the astral realm collapse. You know, this is a timeline card, timeline shift. You know, different dimensions shifting, merging. And a lot of times at 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., these are prime time for the veil to, you know, what we consider the veil to be thin. The veil, in my opinion, really doesn't even so much exist anymore. I mean, it's so hard to put these concepts into actual words. But there's a lot going on with major timeline merges, shifts. And what it feels to me like is potential that it could even have been like, another timeline just bleeding into yours where someone was cooking possibly and the smoke alarm went off and then, whatever. But I'm more getting the fact that this was just an entity looking for a quick fix of, look at all the foods there. Like fuel, food. They were looking for food. So your emotional state, feeding upon that. And then literally the Six of Cups here, they're sitting down at a table, like to share a drink here. So, feeding on, and this is a spirit that has been around before, but I don't feel that this spirit like lives in your house or anything like that. I feel like it's just kind of one that kind of makes its rounds, so to speak. It's totally safe to use your tarot cards. And I would just say, I always, no matter what I do, whether it's a pendulum or my cards, whether it's for other people, whether it's for myself, I always set that intention that I'm only connecting to my own spirit when I am bringing information through. I used to, as you've been around long enough to know, that I used to just let any old spirit come on in and hook on up, and I would just feel so drained after my readings, and that just does not happen anymore since I've really been clear about my boundaries and my intentions. You want to trick it back, right? But you also have the Fool here, so you can create a new reality for yourself to where you can just rebuke and block the spirit from coming back by setting very clear boundaries and intentions. A great thing to work with is salt, setting your intention with salt, setting your intention with a crystal grid in your room, or even at the different corners of your property. You can use black tourmaline, you can use shungite, you can use other warding crystals to keep those at bay. Also basil. If you don't want to go out and buy a bunch of crystals, just get yourself a nice little bushel of basil and put a couple basil leaves in all the different corners of your property, and that will act as a protective ward as well. Of course, with your intention, it amplifies it, but even just setting them out will be protective whether you put that intention in or not, because it is a protective herb. But setting the intention will just amplify things. So if you don't want it to come back, that's my best advice for that. And also just, you don't have to have a communication with it. And I would in fact say don't, because that just gives them more, importance or prominence in your energy. If you're actually calling them out by name, not that you would probably know the name, but, saying, hey, I know you're here right now, saying something like that only excites them further. So of course, setting your intentions telepathically, not connecting to the spirit itself, but the intention of the spirit that you're not allowed here. And one of the best and strongest things that I just say is I rebuke you without literally addressing that, but just the energy that's afoot. I rebuke you. And it works really well. We're on the donation portion, Bobby. So if you want your question answered, you can send a donation. I already did all the free readings today. If you want a free reading, you'll have to come back on Friday. And I'm doing a free 1-card pull at the beginning of the live stream on Friday. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you want to trick it back. I know. It's like, But yeah, for the most part, I'm seeing you've got things pretty well. Grounding your own energy as well can help make these things not be so prevalent as well, or easy for you to react. Even if they are doing things around you, if you're grounded, you're less likely to overreact or respond in a way that gives them that fuel, that fear that they're seeking. They find it. They'll just find anyone. They'll find everyone. They hang out in places where people gather together. There's a lot of things going on in restaurants. There's a lot of things going on in grocery stores, where concerts. These different entities will feed off of, especially big groups of people, but also when there's not a lot of activity, like, say 1 a.m, there's not a lot of that activity going on. So they will go, to random houses and stuff and find that energy. But let's just see word of advice. Okay. We have here Luna. So very interesting. You're going to notice that this amps up more and more during the different moon cycles. And if I'm not mistaken, we are close, I think, to a new moon. I've just tried to kind of tune out the moon at all. Even when I accidentally glance it in the sky, I just try not to give it my attention based on what I know about it being an energy, or, a controller of us and our energy. That being said, though, there's things we can do to just kind of disconnect or, reclaim our sovereignty from any, influence of the moon. So the moon, oh, it was Monday. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I knew it was like pretty close to now, or yeah, whatever. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, this could be why, because the moon affects, you know, this whole matrix. It also will affect the astral entities that are in the matrix, and the earthbound entities, whatever you want to call them, that are in this matrix system. It affects all of us until we start unplugging ourselves and trying to set better intentions. And even then, can we be completely free from that moon's energy? I'm not sure, you know. I guess that remains to be seen. But you'll just notice it amp up during different moon cycles. Yeah. All right. So Marlene V has already posted her question. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to double check our donations just to see that anyone else hasn't donated. Oh, no, Amber has also donated for a full read. And I'm going to go ahead and put her on the list. And then we'll get into that. Marlene, and then Amber's on deck. So we add that. All right, 2 seconds. So Amber, okay. Okay. All right, caught up. Okay. So, Marlene, I'm looking for your question here. What effects will Venus retrograde have on my life? Sun in Cancer. Rising is Virgo. Venus is in Gemini in your 10th house, and your moon is in Aries. Okay, so trying to map this out in my head for Marlene's question here. The Venus retrograde will have on her life. Sun being in Cancer. So I gotta find rising sign. And like in my mind's eye, I make a map. It's weird how I do this, but I do it. So Venus is, so your rising is Virgo. So I'm placing my bet here. And then you have Venus in Gemini in your 10th house. Okay, I gotcha. And then Aries is your moon. So I gotta count back. So 12. So that would put you as trying to count it out. Sorry. It's much easier when I have the software in front of me. So 6. I'm going to write out a little chart here so I can do this right and not be fumbling. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Aries would be your 8th house. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is taking place in your, see, I made my little chart. This is the North Indian chart way of doing things, but yes, I can still do Western astrology with this type of chart just by putting it. So Venus is retrograde, is happening in your 12th house. So there might be some big spiritual revelations or different changes or shifts to your spiritual, you know, even in your dream state. There's a lot of possible sexy time going on in your dream state, or even lack thereof. And even in your literal, like, intimate relationship, there could be some changes because the 12th house also deals with pleasures of the bedroom as well. It also deals with your subconscious mind. So there could be things that you know, long lost memories, or even friends, female friends specifically from your past, that are coming out of the woodwork. Maybe they're reaching out to you on social media or something. Someone you haven't heard from in a long time possibly could be reaching out to you. So Venus rules your, let's see, can't read my numbers. Okay, so Venus will rule your 2nd house and your 9th house. So again, 9th house is kind of spiritual. It's similar, but not exactly at all like the 12th house, but there's similarities. It deals with your belief systems, your philosophies. So there might be shifts coming there. Maybe even a female guru is falling from grace in your mind, somebody who you've always looked up to, or for a long time have looked up to, their values, their principles. They're kind of falling, their crown might be slipping just a bit in your mind's eye because they're just not the person you thought they were. And usually it's a feminine person, or if it isn't, it's someone's in their feminine energy showing up. There could even be some expenses with Libra in the 7th house, Venus ruling that Libra there, or sorry, not in the 7th, 2nd house of, your income, your expenses as well. There could be some expenditure there. This is directly also aspecting your 6th house, again, of possibly having to take loans or make some purchases, or, retrograde can make things that weren't working work again, or things that are working not work. So just kind of seeing where you fall in that. If there's like certain projects maybe around your home, or even specifically around work, because it is aspecting the 6th house of your kind of daily routines. And a lot of people, their daily routine is going to work. But if your daily routine more involves things around the home, there could be things going on there. Also, 6th house deals with small animals and pets as well. So there could be something going on with that. Venus retrograde isn't all bad, because really it will bring up the issues. Yes, that feels bad. It brings up the issues of these Venus-related things. And you even said Venus was in Gemini in your 10th house. So even things with your career could be shifting, changing, and feeling maybe like all this hard work, all this effort I'm putting in, I'm not getting anything out of it. It can be very frustrating, because Venus is in my Navamsha chart. I've got the Venus transiting my 10th house. And it is in my 10th house in Navamsha. So it's like a Venus return Navamsha energy. So it's like, and I'm right there. I'm really debating just getting more into my writing and less about the pick of cards and all this other stuff I've been trying to make happen. Quit trying to make fetch thing. So there just might be a way you've been trying to make money that just isn't really working for you anymore, or you're burned out, or you're just over it in some way. It doesn't mean you can't return to it, but for the time being during this Venus retrograde, you're re-examining. Do I even want to continue doing this? Or do I want to put my effort or my time investment into something different? That could be a thing. And then, of course, once Venus is back in its direct or forward motion, Marlene, you might be having some like really big aha moments, to where you can now bring back some of that stuff you let go of, because you're finding a new way to show up for these things, if that makes sense. Yes, mistakes makes sense. Okay, cool. I accidentally read that as mistakes happen almost. So there could be some mistakes going on at work, but I'm hearing, like, ish happens, mistakes happen. And one of the biggest things we learn from is our own mistakes. So there could be a mistake that's being made during this Venus retrograde, or something that's said, just something that you kind of kick yourself, like, why did I do that? But it's such a valuable lesson, and it's actually going to benefit you more because it's happened rather than it just didn't happen, if that makes sense at all. But let's pull a couple cards as well, just to get a full rounded reading here. And you did say your sun was in, I want to read this, I have to scroll back up again real quick. Sun in Cancer, so that would be your 11th house, right? Gemini, yeah, Cancer, 11th house, right? Yeah, okay. I'm orienting myself, yeah. So again, there could be shifts with people that you consider your friends, your colleagues. There could be just some, I don't want to say falling from grace, but again, it feels to me like you're kind of losing respect, or like just you held certain people on a pedestal before, and now they're kind of slipping. That's the same kind of vibe I got with that 9th house energy as well. So there just could be some people you've worked with in the past, or even in the present, that you're just kind of like, I don't know, they're not as nice as I thought, or man, they're just not as, I see maybe some gossip or something they're doing that just really puts a bad taste in your mouth. So watch out for people like that as well. I don't really see that they're doing this, like talking bad about you, but maybe just some things they're saying about other people kind of make you second guess like who you thought they were as a person, something like that. Let's just get some additional guidance for Marlene, how this is going to affect. I just saw the Wheel of Fortune. So again, financial hits and misses could be coming in. Let's see. This one and this. I guess we're taking them all. We're taking them all. Here we go. So things are easier than you think. Even if things feel rough or difficult, or if you're juggling so much energy trying to figure out where to start with something, things are easier than you think. And I'm almost seeing this pie here that this person's about to take a bite out of, almost like a box. And I just heard also like Pandora's box, opening Pandora's box. But to me, it feels like when you open the box, it's not going to be as overwhelming as you think. I mean, because regular just life circumstances are already decently overwhelming for your average person at any given time anyway. That you digging deeper into certain belief systems or things you once thought about people, it's not going to overwhelm you. It's actually going to put things in some greater perspective for you. So it's actually going to benefit you. And then the Seven of Swords, this came out in our collective reading. So again, maybe feeling like you're having to walk on eggshells or that sword's edge. Again, judgy people in your life, something like that. And this could even just be you judging yourself. I mean, relationships could even be our own, us in our head. And a lot of times that's not even us that we're hearing in our head saying these judgmental things. It's certain entity attachments that come in or looking to feed. They will plant things in our head and make us think we're not worthy or we're not this or we're not that. But I do see you will be coming together, working together loud and proud with some group of people. Could even be, your daughters, doing something fun, kind of working together kind of energy. Everybody is just trying to be in the flow and not try to rock the boat so much. So that's a good thing. And then there's also healing here with the Six of Swords. Quite possibly some short travel, maybe you're wanting to get out more and do more hikes or walks or just get some exercise, bike rides, things like that. Especially with the kids, we got some children kind of along for the ride here. So just getting out in nature with the kiddos or, doing something fun with the kids is a really good thing during this time as well. And I'm trying to think back to your chart here to see where the kids come in. Maybe even, if you are working from home or if the kids are around when you're working, it's almost like you're being inspired by your kids being around. You would think maybe kind of the opposite of I need quiet time to focus on what I'm doing, but actually having the kids around is inspirational at this time. All right, Marlene, I hope that resonated. Very interesting mix of messages we got for you. Okay. Very cool. Okay, so let's see. All right. Hello, Brianna. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you do take them with you to work. Okay. So if things have felt overwhelming, recently with the kids there or, things get a little chaotic or something, to me, it's going to feel like it's a little more calm or a little more introspective, a little more quiet, inspirational as well. Yeah, so many little messages. It's a lot to unpack, but I feel like this is yours as well. Yeah, the Fool. More kiddo type energy, very young, lighthearted, playful type of energy, possible new potential, new beginning energy coming in as well. So yeah, maybe a fun new project you're doing with the kids that maybe has nothing to do with work. It's just a fun thing you're doing together as a family. Fun. All right, Amber. And I'm dropping cards. So we got Wheel of Fortune. I feel like this is both Marlene and Amber's energy here. So again, where things have been dark financially, things are starting to look up, or if things have been doing really well, there might be some expenses coming in, we can never just be on top all the time, which, not very fun, but yes. Okay. So we're getting into Amber's reading. I'm going to go over to PayPal, email. Okay. Regarding the upcoming loading of our container on Sunday, our road trip to Atlanta and the unloading and arranging of the home in Cumming, Georgia. Due to past experience, I'm very worried, thinking about all that could go wrong. Yep, that can happen. Rather than thinking everything will be fine, I would love to get some advice from Organic Spirit, please. Thanks in advance. Yes, you're so welcome. Let's tune in. Because a lot of times when we think the worst case scenario, we do tend to attract a bit of, maybe it's not our worst case, but we do attract some hiccups. And again, a lot of it isn't even our own doing. It's these entities interfering that anything we do in life, they want to come along for the ride and feed off that energy. And again, it's been very prevalent the last month or so. Laura with Pleiadian Healer, she was even talking about the 3 weeks of sadness. I don't know if you had seen that video, Amber, or any of you. You can look that up. It's just on her channel. She gives the dates. It ends on July 27th. So the 3 weeks prior to that would have started, 7/7? So July 7th. People have just been really depressed, really sad. There's just a lot going on. It's a great video. There was a lot of amazing information in it. And it made a lot of sense to me what she talked about in that video. So maybe check it out if you want. But yeah, she talked about so many things that I'm like, yep. I just didn't put them into so many words, but so much yes. But this kind of cycle should be ending soon, and then things are going to look up a little bit. But again, Venus going retrograde can put a bit of a friction in committed partnership relationships. And I do know you're a Virgo ascendant. I do have your chart actually, Amber, so we can kind of integrate some of this because you're moving during this Venus retrograde. So let's see. I mean, moving during Mercury retrograde would be much more difficult than moving during the Venus retrograde, but at the same time, Saturn is also retrograde right now, and possibly some of those other bigger outer planets. I'm not 100% sure exactly what's what and where right now. Yeah, this isn't showing me where those big outer planets are, but yeah, Saturn's definitely retrograde right now. But let's see. I'm opening your chart, Amber, since I have. At least I did a couple weeks ago. Pretty sure I saved it. I'm hoping. Oh my gosh, what if I didn't save it because my computer did go off, like it accidentally restarted. Let me double check. I'm not going to make you give me your, oh no, I do have it. I'm not going to make you give me your birth information over the internet here for all to see, but just based on, so this is happening in your 11th house of different network circles. So you might actually have people that are friends or distant friends, maybe even people that you kind of want to forget about are kind of coming out of the woodwork possibly at this time. Your Venus is in your 9th house. So, again, maybe another rude awakening from the awakening coming up. And it always just feels like, when's the next shoe going to drop? Because it's like, I thought there were only 2 shoes on people's feet, but the shoes just keep dropping. Like, that's the kind of vibe. And also Venus rules your second house, your second house and your 9th house. So this, because your Venus is already in a Venusian sign of Taurus here, it's going to feel almost double, but in a good way, because there's a major transformation coming possibly with your significant other in feeling a little bit more spiritually connected. Too much anger, disagreements, arguments, outbursts happening for my husband and Kashvi. I've been overwhelmed. Yeah, I can totally see the outbursts for sure. And of course, we're not quite in that retrograde energy yet. About to ask you that. I'm so tired of fighting and arguing here. I'm at the end of my rope here. Again, though, a stressful thing like a move could make that amplified even more for a short time. But I see once you're getting there, getting settled, it's almost like he's feeling this sense of guilt or just sadness for how he has treated you through this move. Because to me, Amber, you're showing up, you're wanting to just get all the ducks in a row, get everything packed, get everything going, and just have peace about your relationship. And it's almost like he's nitpicking at this, nitpicking at that, and just throwing fuel on a fire that doesn't even need to be there. Like, that's the vibe. But as far as your move and everything coming up, you have some clarity coming in. There to me feels like divine energy coming in to help you not feel so overwhelmed and in your head when things feel overwhelming, when things are, presumably feeling like they're going to go wrong. But let's get back to your actual question. I'm answering all the side questions. Yeah, peace and ease every day. And these last 3 weeks really have been brutal. 2 weeks really. Have been pretty brutal for a lot of people in the collective with this 3 weeks of sadness. Again, watch Laura Pleading Healer's video on that. It'll explain so much. You won't feel alone anymore. Even Raylene on her most recent live stream was talking about just feeling this like dark night of the soul type energy and just feeling like, wow, I thought I'd done all this and we're back in it again. But yeah, let's just tune in to, because it's very like 8 of Swords energy that so many people are in right now. I've been feeling almost like I've stepped out of time because I haven't been feeling a lot of that. But I've been really working hard to focus on what I am in control of. And from day to day, that just might be knowing what I'm going to make for lunch, because I'm not in control of how the dog is going to act from day to day. One day he's like a perfect prince, little gentleman, and the next day he's getting into every nook and cranny and Legos, and I'm chasing him down, and he's running with the neighbor dog along the fence line, and I'm trying to catch him and get him to stop barking. And then other days, again, he's Prince again. I'm not in control of that, but I am in control of how I respond. And I've been noticing myself taking a lot of deep breaths and almost envisioning as I take a deep breath, especially in the midst of the chaos I'm in, just taking the deep breath and imagining that weight lifting off my shoulder And just that little bit of intention has shifted so much for me that I haven't been getting too snippy or too overwhelmed too easily. And even then, my migraines have been at bay since I had that pretty major one last week. So thank goodness. But yes, let's really see some advice and wisdom from Spirit on this move, and just, thinking all these things that are going to possibly go wrong. Yeah, I can totally see the stress, worry, anxiety that you're feeling right now, and probably in the coming weeks and, till you really get settled, is probably going to be almost like that following you into your dream state. You're having dreams about packing and forgetting things or getting yelled at. I mean, these things are going to follow you into your dreams, and it's just I want to say natural in this realm anyway, kind of after effect of being stressed out when you're awake. It's going to follow you into the dream state. But look, oh wow, I didn't see this till now. Whew. 3 of the 4 aces have come out. We have this Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. Look at this, Amber. So there's a lot of new beginnings in your relationship, in your love life, in setting down roots in this new place. Very lighthearted, carefree energy is coming in to support you soon, and also mental clarity and stillness of mind to come in and help with this. Yeah, sad about leaving Milwaukee. You have memories of your mom here as well. I feel like I'm leaving a piece of me behind. Yeah, and that can feel very bittersweet, overwhelming. Like you're very excited for this new beginning, but then there is this just overwhelming, like this is the last place that I was with my mom, and all those memories. I got chills too. So just so you know, she's along for the ride. She's not going to just abandon you now that you're moving out of town. You'll definitely have new memories to make, and yes, you will still hold dear to the good memories you have in the Milwaukee area, but you're making new good memories in your new town as well. But let's just see anything else Amber needs to know. Yeah, these 2. Yeah, it's going to be quite that death and rebirth process. We got the death card. So there is a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of tears, and there's like no going back. Doesn't mean you can't go visit, that's not what we're saying at all. But as far as you'll probably never live in that area again, is really in this incarnation, is the vibe I get here. And of course, you probably have your favorite grocery store. You have your favorite little parks and places that you've called home for so long. That can feel like a death, a grief. There's a grief, there's a loss there. But also there's so much to gain by going to this new place. And again, that doesn't mean you can't go visit those parks and go to those old locations, when you guys go visit friends or people that or just wanting to, have that nostalgia of going back and visiting, a year from now or however long. You'll always have that opportunity that, Milwaukee's not going anywhere, at least that we know of. But there's so much new that wants to come in that'll be a death, death of the old will be that fertile soil for those new seeds to emerge. It's acting as the fertilizer for this new beginning, and you stepping more into your authority. But again, at the same time, this does feel like kind of going back to our collective reading about the leadership card, and you people in the collective, and you as well, Amber, I know you were here probably for part of that. This to me feels like you taking on this leadership role in your relationship with your husband, and he might even be like, whoa, she's setting some boundaries. I probably shouldn't, yell at her or say these things. Again, this might even be just subconscious. He's not like consciously vetting this out for himself. But it's just this vibe you're giving of I'm standing in my authority. I'm standing in my own power, that emperor energy, and not giving any F's, what these other people think. If this is in alignment with my highest good and I'm not hurting anybody by doing what I'm doing, crap on all that. I deserve this. That's kind of the energy coming through, is you're going to be speaking your truth, speaking your mind, and other people, it's like the king or the dad energy yelling, and everybody ears perk up like, okay, we better get with the program here. Like, that's the vibe. Not that he's like bowing down and being submissive to you like full time or anything, but like you're getting heard. Your communication is coming through and it's meeting its mark. Where before it might feel like you're talking one ear and out the other, almost like one ear out the other. But no, it's sticking. It's sticking the landing. It's making its mark. And he's actually, even if he doesn't verbalize, oh, yeah, I probably should treat you better or this or that. Like the things you're saying, especially if you stand up for yourself and, the energy of this move and everything, those things you say are going to hit their mark within his brain, within his heart. And even if he doesn't verbalize them, you'll start to see his actions shift. Maybe not completely, but slightly. You'll see a slight shift for the better, because to me, the energy feels lighter where you're moving, to where he doesn't have to feel like he's stressed 24/7. Yes, I'm sure the job is still going to be stressful, and getting moved and getting things situated once you get into the new place and everything is going to be very stressful. But as things kind of simmer down, he'll find this new groove in this place that doesn't feel like this just cage over his head of just mental overwhelm all the time, which I think you, mirror image of him, are also feeling a lot of the time. So let's just see anything Amber needs to know about this move. And, are these stresses and worries even needed and warranted? No. And again, this is you. This came out in our collective. So if you didn't see all of that, check it out. This is about, just letting it all hang out, so to speak, but also just really embodying what you know to be right for you and Kashfi and your family, your future, and speaking it into being, taking action in those directions, setting yourself up once you're in your place to really get your creativity flowing again, I feel is going to happen. We also have the Moon, the Emperor, the Queen of Swords, Page of Wands, Magician, Page of Pentacles, and 8 of Pentacles. So it's going to be a lot of hard work and effort, but it, to me, feels like you're here for the work, for the effort. Moon is that mother energy, both your own mother and you being the mother of Kashfi. Emperor energy, to me, feels more like your energy here, though, not your husband. This feels like you, again, taking that authority and really owning it. Sovereignty and authority, you're owning it. Queen of Swords, again, King of Swords came out, that union of your own divine masculine, divine feminine energies coming out to speak the truth into being for yourself. Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles, again, taking the page of, well, you didn't get the page or the Ace of Wands, but you got all the other aces. So this is about creative inspiration, finally grabbing hold of those opportunities for new beginning and putting down roots. The sprout has sprouted. Now it's up to you to maintain that sprout by watering it, nurturing it, fertilizing it, keeping the bugs at bay, of your creativity, of your move, of your home, of all the things going on. You're the driving force behind this, though. And again, you have all the tools you need already. You don't have to go out and buy, some self-help course or, get knowledge from all these external places. You already have everything you need to make this the best possible thing. Again, it's not going to be completely easy and stress and carefree, la-di-da, rainbows, unicorns and rainbows, all that fun stuff. Did I say rainbows twice? Whatever. Double rainbow. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be not possibly as stressful as you're thinking it is. And a lot of times, if you can even envision the trip, not like the whole trip, like, how many hours it's going to take, you just like literally meditating that long to be on the trip, but just envisioning, laughter and happiness and low stress. If something does go wrong, it's like the wrong is righted right away and things are happening in the best possible outcome. Really envisioning that leading up to this move will benefit you greatly. It really will. And that'll let those entities that are trying to plant the fact that, oh, this is going to be bad, this is going to not work, this is going to arrive late, da, 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 da. You can quiet them up by envisioning your perfect happiness. And then, yeah, it may not completely, stick the landing of a complete perfect trip, but it'll be much better than I think the doom and gloom you might be envisioning of everything going wrong and, your husband and your relationship's going off the rails because, he's really mad and things aren't going right. And just start envisioning what you would like to expect. And even if you don't completely hit every, mark on your, to-do list as far as what you are expecting and intending, you're going to at least come a lot closer to that than this gloom and doom scenario of just worry, stress, anxiety. That being said, anxiety is very real. And when we feel anxiety, a lot of times feel it, heal it, deal with it, release it. But that book that I always recommend, The Vampire's Way to Psychic Self-Defense by John Creeder, is like, chef's kiss to dealing with any negative forces, entities, thoughts, just negative people around you. It's so beneficial in every way, shape, and form. I cannot shout from the rooftops enough how much that book has helped me. Just even when my kids are fighting, I'm like, I feel like I can, just take that deep breath, do the reverse breathing technique, make the cauldron, transmute that energy, and almost like show a new way. It's hard. It's hard though. A lot of that stuff is just becoming more and more visible, more and more sensible. Like you're sensing it. You're hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, seeing all the things from the astral realm, just overflowing into this realm. And it can feel weird and scary. Don't try to say, oh no, I didn't see it. Don't try to, excuse it away. You probably did see something, but you're more powerful than whatever it is that's around. You're way more powerful because you are actually incarnated. You can actually take action. You have physicality about you to actually do something in this realm, whereas they don't. They need us to continue going. That's really all. They're just surviving. They're not thriving, and we have the potential to thrive. So keep that in mind. All right. So let's go into the next. I want to say there was one more donation. Yes, Brianna. One card pull. General concise message for my immediate benefit, please. Yes, let's do it for Brianna. Let me know that you're here, Brianna, or I will timestamp if I don't see you come on in. 1:25:25 for Brianna. 1 hour, 25 minutes, 25 seconds. Okay. Just in case. Clear, concise message for Brianna at this time. What does she need to know? Anything she needs to know right now? Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. There's a new opportunity coming in. She's here. Yay! New opportunity coming in. And very interesting how this upside down umbrella. So it's like the storm is over, metaphorically speaking. The storm is over, and instead of using that umbrella to shield you from things getting to you that you don't want, i.e., for the example, the rain soaking you, it's now turned upside down to gather the abundance around you. It's like gathering the things coming toward you that you can gather up and use this energy for something beautiful. Almost reminds me of like piggy bank energy. Like all these pentacles are just kind of going down, pouring down, accumulating into this umbrella. So there might even be something literally you've saved for a rainy day. All these, with the example here, something you've saved for a rainy day, be it literal item you've saved for, or more metaphorically or spiritually speaking, something you've been saving for a rainy day. It's about time to make that purchase or that deposit or that reap of the benefit of whatever it is you've been saving up for. Could even be energy. You've been saving energy to commit to something. Let's see. Anything else Brianna needs to know about this opportunity? Ooh, the Lovers. Chariot and the Fool. Wow, this is a major transformation. 3 major arcanas yet again. I've been shuffling this deck the whole time, you guys, and these major arcanas just keep flying off the shelves. Look at this. So the Lovers, there's a major life-changing choice or decision that you're about to make because of this opportunity coming in. It's going to change your life for the better. Could even do with your relationship because we are coming into that Venus retrograde. So that could be the most literal way we can interpret this energy is there's a change coming, but these people look quite cozy. They don't think they're breaking up or anything like that. So the change would, I feel, be for the better, even if initially it doesn't feel that great. Whatever this is that's changing in your relationship, if you're in one, will definitely be for the better ultimately. But again, new beginning, new beginning, new beginning. Can we say new beginning? Because there's a new beginning afoot right here. And this, to me, I'm hearing, even if you don't have all the answers, all the pieces of the puzzle, all the financing, all the whatever, just do it anyway. Just get started. Just make some action in the direction of this opportunity because you're going to be glad you started now rather than a year from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever this is. We have the sun really prevalent in this card here as well, which, another major arcana energy is the sun card. So I'm almost getting the sun vibe. And we also have the sun pouring in on this card as well. A lot of sun energy here. So I don't know if there's a major transit going on with your sun sign right now. If there is, or something aspecting, opposite, trining, sextile, whatever. There's something triggering your sun, which, in the chart, the sun is the soul. It's the soul. It's the blueprint of who we are on our deeper level, in the matrix anyway. But then we have the Chariot. So there could be a trip, possibly vehicle related. I always bring up all the different scenarios with the Chariot. Moving energetically, physically, literally, whatever. Or just taking a trip, a vacation of sorts. Again, major decision to be made at times when the Chariot comes out. Do I go down this road? Do I go down this road? Especially though, too, if you're on some sort of road trip, maybe you're taking the path less followed or the unbeaten trail or whatever. You're just taking a new way forward that you weren't expecting, maybe as a result of this decision or choice you're coming to, Brianna. But at the heart of the Chariot, as I always say, you're going to succeed at whatever it is you're putting that forth, that effort, that wisdom, that intuition, that drive, that passion. And remember, if you did watch our collective reading earlier, there's this reignition of passion coming as a result of this Venus retrograde that's taking place. We're kind of already feeling it, but basically July 22nd through September 3rd. There's a reignition of passion coming in, possibly to your relationship or, creative endeavors, creative projects, passions. Very Ace of Wands energy I'm also getting from this Chariot card. So again, you have the Ace of Pentacles, a new idea that you could literally plant to make abundance for yourself, but also a lot of creativity with that Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is also passion in a relationship as well. So it doesn't always just have to be like romantic passion, but it could be passion for a friendship or a hobby that you share with a friend that you're just really going all in on, and really even getting closer to a friend or a family member because of a passion or a hobby or something that's like a mutual, like a TV show you're both watching or a book you're both reading, or you're both getting into ceramics or, yoga or something. Something like this is popping off, and it's really going to benefit you and another person. Again, doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic connection, but it can. But again, major life decision is going to bring about new beginnings and long-term abundance if you continue to take action on it. Very exciting stuff, Brianna. It's just about that reignition of passion, which can feel very far and few between leading up to and during a Venus retrograde. But by the time September 3rd, I would say probably more close to mid-September rolls around, so many of the collective are going to be coming out with new screenplays, new novel ideas, new TV shows, new art of all kinds, new business ideas, new inventions. I mean, it's going to be like a renaissance. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting with this Venus retrograde. When it comes out of retrograde and goes forward again, like the next 18 months, look out. And those of you that are creatives, please do not let that idea just sit or simmer or stew on the back burner, because someone else will take that right out from under you without you even realizing it. It's a thing. Read the book Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She talks about how this story idea she had, this other author friend of hers basically wrote the exact story she was going to write because she didn't write it. And I think that's a little message for myself to get going on some writing projects that I've been debating on some certain things for myself. So yes, you have a good rest of the week as well, Amber. Big hugs, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck with your move. You'll have to let us know when. You don't have to let us know exactly when you're moving or anything, but energetically, we want to support you. We want to send you all the positive, moving vibes and love and just positive intentions when that takes place for you. Okay, so let me just double, triple check. Yes, that was our last donation. I hear my kids hanging out, playing with the dog outside, so I think I'm going to go join them. And it didn't get too ridiculously hot in here because we are still about 27 or so minutes before I would normally go live on a Wednesday night. So I beat the heat. We beat the heat, you guys, in this AC-less house for the time being anyway. Our AC unit or our central air thing is out, and it's expensive. So it needs replaced. And because everybody wants theirs fixed in this town right now because it's the heat of the year coming in hot, literally. We're on a 2 to 4 week waiting list right now, which, but hey, I'm humble. I'm taking it in stride, and I'm gonna see what this heat is trying to show me. Must be showing me my mother-in-law because she is calling me right now. So I'm gonna go leave it at that. Thanks again so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. Hope to see you next time. Bye.